The week before the Arnold Expo. And what are we weighing in at, my friends? 210.6 pounds. Welcome to another episode of Awakening Hercules.
So real quick, I want to talk to you guys about my cardio routine. I kind of detailed it in the first video, but I just want to keep updating you guys on what's going on. I started the first week with 15 minutes per day, so that's 6 days a week of stairs, so just 15 minutes. And then the next week, this week, I'm doing 15 minutes for 3 of the sessions, and then 20 minutes for the other 3 sessions. And then the proceeding week, the next week, then I'll move all sessions up to 20. So I'm kind of doing like this half step progression to a full step progression to another half step to another full step. And that's kind of the way that I escalate my cardio as I go throughout this 14-week prep. Today was particularly interesting because the stairs that I was using at this gym are actually so close to the ceiling that my head was constantly smacking the ceiling. I would not even remember that the ceiling was so close, and then I'd like sprout up real quick and I'd smack my head in the end of the ceiling, and I was just like, oops. Oh, and finally, the pace that I'm trying to do with this cardio is I'm trying to go fast enough that I'm sweating and it's hard for me to continue a conversation. So like I can say a couple words while I'm breathing, but if I try to use full sentences, I'm running out of breath too much. So that's kind of the exertion rate that you're going for when you're doing this cardio. All right guys, ready for this? I'm gonna take you through the entire back day that I went through just today. They're always different. So the first exercise that I started with is a T-bar row. Essentially, this is just taking a barbell, putting one end into a corner so that it doesn't move while you do the row, and then putting 25-pound plates on the other side. Now, you don't wanna use 45-pound plates because they're too wide in diameter, so you won't be able to get as full of a range of motion as if you use 25-pound plates because they're much smaller and you're able to pull it much closer to your chest. Now, I usually start my workouts with a compound like this, one of the heavier compounds, but I'll usually start with heavy sets of like 5 to 8 for the first 2 or 3 sets, and then I'll move up to hypertrophy. But today I'm just feeling like pumping it out on all sets. So I'm starting with 16 reps. The second set, I'm gonna try to do 16 reps as well, and then the third set, 14, and the fourth set, 12. And those are what I'm aiming for. If I can do more, then of course I'm gonna do more, or I'm gonna increase the weight. But I have a pretty good idea of where my strength and my endurance is at right now. So what I'm trying to do is pick a weight that I can hit for the entire 4 sets and not change the weight, but just drop the reps as I'm going. With this exercise, the biggest tip that I can give you is to think about your elbows and not your hands. So instead of thinking about just pulling the weight up and down to your chest and then back down to the ground, I'm thinking about my elbows. I'm thinking about pulling my elbows through the bottom of my hips. So instead of thinking about pulling up, I'm actually thinking about pulling my elbows down as I row it. If you have your shoulders up here while you're rowing, you're actually not gonna use the lats quite as much as you could. You're gonna use your arms a lot, you're gonna use your traps a lot, but if you push your shoulder blades down and keep your shoulders down here, tucked down low while you're doing these rowing movements, you're gonna activate and fire your lats a lot more. That is such a good tip that has helped me so freaking much. Then from here, we're gonna do another exercise that I just freaking adore. This is an incline lying dumbbell row, something like that. Essentially, you're gonna take a bench, you're gonna put it at an incline. Now, you can do it really inclined, you can do it almost flat, whatever you wanna do. Remember, these are all like personalizable to you and your equipment. Then while lying down with your chest down on the pad supporting it, keep your chest up, keep your shoulder blades down as I was saying, and you're gonna start with the dumbbell directly under your shoulders with your arms being completely straight. And then as you're rowing it towards your body, you're not gonna row it straight up, you're actually gonna be kind of rowing it in an arced movement. So kind of think about like starting a lawnmower, like pulling a lawnmower to start. You're not just pulling straight back, you're pulling downwards in a kind of an arc fashion. So again, thinking about pulling your elbows through your hips as you're rowing this. I like to do it just a slight bit of a pause and squeeze my back and then let it down nice and slow. Come to the top, squeeze my back, let it down nice and slow. And I'm gonna do this for 3 sets of 10 to 16 reps, and that's really up to you. Okay, now we're on the part that I'm friggin' excited to talk to you guys about. Now this is a superset and it's gonna be so freaking tough. Basically it's a seated cable row, but there's a few things that are different. So instead of actually being on a proper bench for a seated cable row that's set it up for it, instead you're just gonna use a pulley like you would use for like curls or for some tricep extensions, and you're gonna sit on the ground. So that is a huge difference. Even though it's a slight tiny change, it makes a huge difference in the exercise. Another slight difference, instead of using those narrow grip handles that you're used to using when you're doing seated cable rows, instead you're gonna use the ropes that you would usually use for like tricep extensions. Now the idea of this is that when you're at the top of the movement, your hands can be very close and narrow together, and then as you're rowing it towards your body, you can pull those ropes apart, squeeze your elbows back, and try to think about pressing your elbows together behind your back. Obviously you can't do that. And pressing them down like I've been saying, and you'll feel your lats really light up. And here's where the superset comes in. It's very simple. You're gonna start with a weight that you can do for the first set of 16 reps. You want to get to the end of that set, really start to feel a burn, start to feel a pump, and it's starting to hurt and be a little bit difficult. You're gonna drop the weight by 2 levels, so it doesn't matter what machine you're on or whatever, just drop it by 2 levels. Then you're gonna grab the weight immediately, no rest period, and start your next set, which is going to be 12 reps. Now this is the part where it starts to get really hard. You're starting to burn, and you're starting to see your form start to deteriorate. So in your mind, because your body's telling you like, yo, just get through it, try to make it go as fast as possible and just finish. But in your mind, you have to be stronger than that and say, hey, slow down, concentrate on the form, and keep it good. I'm just gonna endure this pain, get through the pain, but keep the form good and not force out reps just to get done with the set. Finish that 12 reps, now you drop it again by 1 or 2 levels, it's up to you, and then you grab the weight right again. No rest period. I'm telling you, it's like a complete fat pumping burnout session. You're gonna grab the weight again and start rowing it again, and this set is going to be for 10. So it's gonna go 16, 12, and then 10. Again, this is the hardest part. This is where you really wanna just start forcing it out so you can get done with this third set. You have to tell yourself, slow, come to the top of the movement, squeeze your lats, and let it down nice and slow. Everything that you were doing in the first set, every cue that you were giving yourself, remember that you're still doing that. You're just on a third set now. You're in this heavy superset, so make sure that you're telling yourself those same cues. You know, pull your elbows back, try to squeeze your back, try to keep your elbows pressed down, try to slow the momentum, try to slow the pace, really squeeze your muscles and feel everything. Control the negative movements. That is it. That superset is freaking insane, and you can do this for, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 of those supersets. You can change the volume of this back workout. You can do whatever you want. It's all personalizable. I'm just telling you what I did today because my back workouts, my workouts in general, just always change so much that I think it's interesting to take you guys through, kind of like tour you through a workout, and hopefully it can kind of like inspire some new thoughts and spark some new thoughts for your workouts that you can kind of pick and choose what you want to implement. So I hope you guys enjoyed this back day. Okay, as you can tell, I've just finished lunges. I'm sweating all over. It's really hard, but a little pro tip, especially for people who have a hard time getting weights off of the ground and onto their back, set yourself up a little table for you to put the bar on, and then you can just duck under here and pick it up without actually having to like kind of clean it up to your shoulders and then over your head. This works especially well if you go to a 24 in LA Fitness, some sort of corporate gym, because they usually have all sorts of chairs and stuff in their aerobics room, so you can just stack them up and put it on there. But you can really use anything to put this on as long as it's safe and you have a little hole to get under it. Pro tip, this is helping me so freaking much. Oh, hey! Oh, I didn't see you guys there, sorry. I want to talk to you guys about some water tips. No, but seriously, I've been wanting to talk to you guys about water because I know it sounds so simple and fundamental. It's like, drink water, it's important. But seriously, when you start a cut and you're low in calories, you lose some of your factors of advantage, right? Because when you have a lot of calories when you're bulking, you have all that extra energy, you have all that that fullness, that pump. But when you get rid of the food, then you have to put more emphasis on your other factors, and the other factors are things like water or like sleep, things like that, right? So you need to make sure that you're well hydrated, because for one, you're gonna be able to actually tell how your workouts are doing. Instead of just being dehydrated and underfed, you'll just be underfed and well hydrated. But then also when you are hydrated, you'll be less hungry. When you're dehydrated, you actually tend to overeat because you're wanting water, right? And there's like a little bit of water in your food and whatnot. And so you won't be able to accurately tell how much food you're intaking, and you may overeat. So drinking water will help you stay full longer, and it'll help your workouts be better.
Reunited with my Coliseum friends.
Hi.
We got the Beast. Hello. And we've got El Colosso.
Hello. You guys are like so messing up my mood right now.
I am sorry.
There we go. Yes.
I am sorry, Hercules.
Epic, my friend.
Do not smite me.
I will not smite you now, my friend.
Anyways, we're all here right now. We are all getting a workout in, so we're all going to do chest, which is going to be pretty fun. I'll show you guys a little bit of the footage, and then we're going to get to the posing.
finished our workout.
So many people actually don't like that voice, but I do it anyways.
It's tradition.
It's tradition, man. It was like 38 weeks in.
Can't mess with tradition.
Can't mess with tradition. Anyways, we've just finished our chest workout. All three of us kind of did like a different thing, but now what are we doing?
Now we're doing posing practice.
No. Oh no.
Wait, you can't see my butt.
Yeah, the butt is the most important
You can see
part.
my butt, it'll be out.
Yeah, you really gotta use the angles for your butt there. So we're about to pose. I'm just gonna show you guys raw clip-its of it because I think it'll be interesting, and I'll tell you now, none of us are very good at it. I'm only slightly more experienced than everyone else, so we're gonna be watching a video real quick to kind of like refresh our ideas. Everyone kind of has their own flair, which you can kind of do yourself. Okay, see how his torso is twisted towards the audience, but his hips are twisted sideways?
He looks like a robot.
It's really hard to do, but like see how his hips are completely faced to the right, but then he's
the front one back.
Yeah, and his right shoulder, his left shoulder's not coming back really far. And then so that's a front pose that he's doing right now. This is a front pose.
I got old.
But the thing that's good is we will not have that much time, so you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Definitely not. We will not have to do all this. We got it. Damn, boy look crazy, son.
Yeah.
He looked like a friggin' Slim Jim or something. It's all wrapped up and shiny. He looks like he has like 8 grams of sodium.
Yeah.
It's hard. You gotta pull the torso sideways with the hips going forward.
Oh, this requires a lot.
Really good.
I can't even bother doing this. The back just keeps cramping up.
How do you do it?
It's a little bit more personalized. Like everybody can do it differently. Like you can literally just stand up there and do the relax. That's what you're doing, by the way, though. You're not actually just standing there. You're like clearing your lats. Probably most relaxed. Relaxed button.
That's even hard for me to do.
Most guys, though, they don't actually stand flat foot straight. They put 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So honestly, it's just like a side pose, but a little bit turned. That's all it freaking is. Because you still want your hips to be as small as possible and your shoulders to be as wide as possible. So a lot of people will do that 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, a little bit of a turn of their hips to make them smaller. Then one hand on the hips to like pull your elbow back and then flare it a little bit, get your delt and stuff popped. And the other one, I haven't figured out what to do with this hand. Like some people do this, you're like a dick. Like there's no posing, there's no actual bodybuilding pose, but you do it anyways. But yeah, so like, and then the hardest thing is trying to keep your abs flexed while you pause, because then you have to breathe with your abs flexed. And you're supposed to smile. The smiling thing is hard, man. I can't get it to look natural. I think it looks so stupid when I
just
smile.
like walking up like.
Best pose of the last competition.
Oh yeah, he was so bouncy.
You should. It was so awesome. Model your posing after that guy, man.
I want to do a variation of that.
All right, so we've all done like a little bit of like just trying to figure it out, talking about it, kind of like critiquing each other's form and whatnot. So now we're just gonna do one walkthrough, and keep in mind this is the first week we're all posing. No one is good at it yet. Give us pointers and tips, but do it in a criticism way, in a constructive criticism way, not like a terrible way, because we're learning and we're gonna get better, hopefully. I just walk out here. I walked out there with a frumpy walk. Hold on. The number 69, Ryan Turner. Walk out.
Oh yes, very good. I like. Now take off pants.
Trying to keep wide. It's hard on the front one.
Yeah.
My right one is not my most mobile. I need to get better with that one. Yeah, my left is much better. Then the back. This one I need to work on because I've never seen what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't even know what I would be doing on that.
So I'm gonna flex my tricep, try to pull my shoulder blades back, but still kind of spread. And then spin back to the front, give it a quick one more pose, and then away. Thank you guys for coming. And then a walk off.
Like a big buff guy.
So good. I can barely do anything.
Wait. It goes this way. Yeah. Woo! You flex his abs, yeah, straight step. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. And then this way, and then front. Oh. Just like quarter turns all the way around. Front. Bring your hips a little bit more straight because they'll tell you to straighten out a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Yep. And then right.
One out.
Yeah, it's the same thing as all the other poses, but yeah, now you need to pull your shoulder blades down and then pull them out. even farther, like a most relaxed type thing. And then flex your tricep. Because you're trying to look as wide as possible with the tiniest weights on that one, and then you wait. And the center mark. There we go. Yeah.
And then front.
Front. Yeah, like to maybe put one hand on the hip. Yeah, it's gonna look better. This arm looks so much better when you put it on the hip. All right, there we go, my friends. That is our first posing session. Terrible. I'd give us a D just because
a 0.5 out of 10.
I'm one of those nice teachers that gives you a free letter grade just because you know you weren't a bad person.
You tried.
Yeah, you were a nice person, so you might as well get at least one letter grade. So we all got D's there, which is not bad. Throw some D's on it.
Throw some D's on it.
Throw some D's on that bitch. Anyways, like I said, guys, over the course of the next few weeks, we are gonna be just trying this over and over and over and over and over. And by the time we're doing competing, hopefully we will be much better at posing. We'll find out. So the second week has gone pretty damn well. I feel pretty good about where we are in terms of like our progression and whatnot. I feel very strong. One thing that I don't talk too much about because generally it's always pretty good, but especially this week, my sleep has been very on point. So when I wake up, I'm feeling very energized. I'm feeling like I'm ready to get that first meal in. I get that meal in and then I'm just ready to go to the gym. I'm just like ready to go work out and get a good pump. And they have been really great. Like I've had great pumps. I've had good connections with my muscles. I can really isolate them. I'm not using other muscles while I'm doing certain exercises and being like, oh crap, I'm using my, my biceps on a back exercise or whatever. I've been feeling very connected with my body, which is awesome. And I think that has to do with the fact that we are cutting. I feel like cutting kind of like connects you a little bit more with your muscles. Maybe it's because you can see it, maybe it's placebo, I don't really know what it is, but it definitely is feeling really good. Another thing that I wanted to touch on a little bit again is I told you guys, drink that water. It's gonna help you out a lot. I just want to say that I've been drinking about 2.5 gallons per day, and I usually aim for about 2 to 3 gallons a day. So I just want to put that out there because I know a lot of people are gonna be like, how much water should I go for? I'm like 210-ish pounds, right? So I'm going for 2 to 3 gallons per day, and that feels good for me, but obviously everybody has a different amount of water that's gonna work really well for them. In addition to me feeling pretty good as far as I think of my physique this far. I think it looks good, but I am holding a lot of water, and today and yesterday were kind of the days that I was judging my physique, and I'm definitely holding a lot of water. I've been eating, generally higher sodium foods, which is not a big problem or anything. I'm just having a little bit more salt right now. When I get farther into the contest prep, obviously I'm going to be tapering my sodium down a lot more, and there's a lot more things that I'll be like being more tight on. And of course, the Arnold in Columbus, Ohio is coming up this week, so we're actually flying out on Thursday morning at 4:30 a.m., which is like crazy. But yeah, we'll be there until Sunday, which is when we're coming back. So that's actually pretty much most of the week. Then we'll have Monday and Tuesday to do what we want, and then that'll be the next episode. So I can tell you, I'm not expecting to have a crazy episode that's like very inclusive like this one. It'll probably be very scattered because the footage will be from all over Arnold and whatnot, but it will be very exciting. But I just want to also point out that we will not have the access to our normal gyms and cardio and whatnot, so it will be a little bit harder to stick to the cardio and a little bit harder to stick to like a perfect diet, but I will be counting calories, so I'll be making sure that I either come in at what I'm supposed to be coming in at, or I'll be coming in slightly below. So this week is 3,000 calories, and then the next week will probably be somewhere around 2,850 calories. Because we'll be in the Arnold also, this weekend we'll have a little bit of a different schedule. There won't be a full day of eating on Friday. Instead, there will be a chopping it up about how we're feeling in our diet right now in terms of me, LP, and Obese to Beast. And then on Saturday, we're gonna have a different video up, maybe a PO unboxing, I'm not really sure, but then right after we get back from the Arnold, it'll be right back to the regular schedule. We'll see that first Arnold video on Monday, and then the rest of it will be right back to schedule, so I'm excited to show you guys that. Hopefully, I can keep myself progressing and on a good track while in freaking Columbus, Ohio, where it's nice and cold, and I'm so freaking excited for it. I love it. Hercules is gonna battle the cold. I hope there's something great for you guys to see next week in the next episode of Awakening Hercules.